live tonight. So we'll give everybody a few minutes to join us, and then we're going hot. I don't even know what time it is anymore, but we just rolled up to the house, unpacked three things: the tripod, which we had to put together, the phone, and what else? And we're live. We're going live. Just drove over how much? 4,000 miles over the last 6 days. So we have stuff to pass. Sunday we didn't go live for a couple different reasons. We'll explain that in a few minutes. I think I had the black lung, but we are back. Literally minutes back in the house. Luckily, CC number 5 had a key to let us in. And now we're live. So bear with us.
Okay, Jake Awesome's here. Doc Holiday.
Jake Awesome, Doc Holiday. Doc, I was reading your message as we were walking up. So yes, we are live. Here's what I even did. You said Carrie Ann Marie. Who else? I don't have a monitor up, so I can't see who's here yet. OG, what's up? So we're trying to put together a community post saying no, we're not going live because the producer was driving, and I was a little scared. First of all, I didn't want to hold on tight to the.
Okay.
My claws are dug into the armrest and the handle. But we made it back alive. And number 5 and I tried to put out a post saying, hey, sorry, no live tonight. We're not going to make it back. We just drove. She didn't put all that information in there, but we just drove, again, I'm guessing about 5,000 miles over the past 6 days. And halfway through, can you get Kimi Cocoa Puffs computer? And about halfway through, was it Sunday I got sick? I think it was Sunday, just out of nowhere. And you probably still hear it in my voice. And I never get sick.
Hello, Goody Rod's here.
Hello.
Bryce,
John McJunkin. Who?
Eric the Great.
Eric the Great is here. Good evening, y'all. Listen, we weren't going to go live tonight, but we missed Sunday. I was just kind of explaining to everybody why we didn't. We've been on the road. We were in College Station. We got a bunch of great stuff to tell you about that. And I'm always looking for leadership where leadership is, because leadership is everywhere. Can you see that in the camera? Is that in the way?
Not yet. No. It doesn't look like it.
And a whole lot of leadership lessons along the way. Always taking it. So, and I'm going to write this down before I forget, because I got some ideas for videos and shorts from that trip. And I always spell it wrong. Artery. But we are here. We're back. It is SFMF Live Wednesday. Sorry missed you all Sunday. Again, was telling everybody we're on the road. Carrie Emery Potts, you're watching Boots. No spoiler alerts, because we left the Thursday last week that it started. So I thought it was a movie, but it's a series, right? How many shows are in the series? Look at Green Logbook.
Wait, where's the keys?
See the Green Logbook? First of all, the Green Logbook.
Car keys.
They're still in the truck if I didn't bring them in. Georgia coffee. This is the best, some of the best things Japan has produced. Not some of, the best thing Japan has produced. It's from the Coca-Cola company. So why don't more places sell it in the United States is my biggest question. Because as soon as I got addicted to it, we left and came back to the United States, and I searched everywhere. I don't know why people don't sell it here. It's a Coca-Cola product, and it's the best coffee ever. Nothing compares. Had a couple come close, but no Georgia. And there was a Georgia machine, a soda machine right outside our house in Okinawa, 80 yen back then. 80 yen, I'd get one. In the summer, I'd get a cold one. Winter, get a hot one. The best. All right. Kevin Lee, welcome to level 1. All right. Look at Kevin Lee. All right. McJunk, it's all good. So, Major, we understand family time, personal health comes before all else, and rightly so. Feel better, get well. So, That was Sunday. I don't even know what today is. It's Wednesday because we're live. It was one of the 24-hour things, right? Stuffy head, fever, coffee, and all that stuff. But we had no time for that, so we had to keep pushing. And then this morning felt great till we got on the road. And then halfway through, man, I don't think I've ever had a migraine, but if I think I had the beginning of it, right? Every time I coughed or sneezed, just this side right here was just,
Trying to get me sick.
yeah, I want to share, just trying to share the wealth. I get them at the Japanese shop here in San Diego. So the Green Logbook, we eventually found where they do sell them.
Your hiding spot.
Yeah, secret. Yeah, I don't want to tell everybody because then you'll buy them all. But I don't know why regular stores don't sell them. It's a Coca-Cola product. Every Japanese, every Asian store we go into, we check. And you're right, there are a couple. San Diego, Hawaii has one.
Lucy Adams has a great idea for a short.
Adam East, let's see. What's up, guys? Short idea. What to do in the event of a government shutdown. So it's a great idea for a short because I'm talking to another buddy, a LinkedIn buddy he's right on the cusp of receiving his disability, and he had some follow-ups, and he reapplied, and all that's going through, and he's just waiting on like final word on knees and whatever. And I was like, oh man, now it's going to be delayed again. He said, nope, not this part of the VA is not affected by the government shutdown because they're like 3 or 4 months ahead. So it shouldn't. It's not going to last too much longer. But great idea, Guns. Government shutdown. And I remember being active duty like you are now when it happened. And I didn't worry about it. I don't know why. Was it a short one? I don't even remember during Obama's term. And it happened. I think it was just for a few days, and they kept telling us, don't worry about it. It's not going to last to your next paycheck. I don't remember. And what we're going on, how long now? It still is. Still shut down. That's the other thing. Since we've been out of pocket for the past 6 days, 7 days, well, tomorrow will be 7 days. I haven't watched the news. I haven't watched shorts. I haven't been keeping up with it. And I got to tell you, it's pretty refreshing, right? All the stress. I was looking a little bit towards the end of the trip. The hundreds of conspiracy theories behind Charlie Kirk. Now they're talking about drones, and I got to get caught up. All right, Carrie Ann Marie Potts, 8 episodes in the series Boots. I'm going to watch it. If you were watching it, no spoiler alerts, because I'm going to start it tonight. I don't have to wait, right? It started. We can watch now. Kevin Lee, glad to hear. I'm happy that I found such a great online community of Marines to join. It seems really welcoming. Semper Fi brothers. Welcome, Kevin Lee. So more to the story, but welcome and thank you. I met some recruiters in where were we? College Station, just outside College Station at Costco. 3 dudes walking through Costco buying bulk water. Sure enough, and they all had the same matching that recruiter shirt. Pain is weakness, leaving the body, fresh haircuts, and just jacked, all 3 of them. So of course I got to talk to them, and that's what they're doing. Just getting ready to go PT with their boys. And so we talked about just this community that is. I was explaining to them the channel, trying to broaden our reach. And sure enough, just describing it to someone. So I like when people come new and say, what's this about? It's just a community of talking life into each other, trying to help each other so no one has to learn the hard way. We got from high schoolers all the way up to Vietnam veterans. Where else can you get that much information in one specific location? So I hope those guys are on tonight. 3 studs, recruiters, get after it. And business is good. Orthodox Christian Andrew. Remember, thanks, brother. Don't dress up for your VA mental health appointments. So interesting, Orthodox Christian Andrew. Along with that, I'll tell you, be honest and open and tell them everything. You have to. I was seeing my therapist for about 3 years. about 2.5 years before I actually opened up and told him the truth. So I wasted 2 years. And I told him, and I started like this. One of our sessions, I was like, Doc, I'm going to be honest with you right now. He said, it's about time. He said, people usually don't take that long, but I said, I may have been not lying to you, but just beating around the bush on the truth. He said, no, I know. I was letting you do it. And so let's hear it. That's when things start happening. So don't dress up for that. Be yourself. That another way to put it, Andrew, is just be yourself and be totally honest. Combat medic. Good evening, fam. Hope all are doing well. I'm prepping for my colonoscopy tomorrow morning. Oh, you drinking that stuff? I'm saying it like I've done it. I still haven't. So good luck. And I keep putting it off. I know I shouldn't. And there's other ways to check now before you go straight to the colonoscopy, so you can get the pre-check so it's not so invasive. But I still gotta do mine. I don't know if I'm going to, though, to be honest. All right, Vargas, get in here. Look at see even McJunkin to the combat medic. We'll keep you in our prayers. You mean on the outcome? Absolutely. 100% on the complete other side of that. Yes. Prayers that it all comes out well.
That's the right phrase you should use.
Yeah, I don't hope all comes out well in the end. No, that's not a good way to put it either. Prayers, brother. Oh, seriously. Miller. What's up, Miller? Look at Michael Ruff on there. What's up, Mick? All is well. Okay, a lot of catching up to do right now. Again, we it seems like we've been out of pocket for the past week, but we were just in a different pocket, and it was an amazing week. I think I'm going to sleep all day tomorrow after the gym, of course. Old Jyrene is here. What's up, brother? We're just talking old Jyrene. I was explaining to these 3 recruiters I met in College Station in Texas. And they said, oh, you have a channel. What's it about? And it should probably have a mission and vision statement like most people do. But ours, you guys have created our mission and vision. We know what our ultimate goal is, which, again, we shared with another amazing family. Texas is amazing all around. And describing our vision and our goal to this gentleman, we build on it every time we tell a story. So telling these 3 recruiters this is a community of high schoolers deciding whether or not to go in the military, deciding whether or not enlisted or officer, and then which branch, all the way through active duty, and then retirees or prior service. And we still have Vietnam veterans in here. World War II veterans, we're down to just a few, unfortunately, but time that it happens. So great community. McJunkin says, I didn't even wait that long, Sergeant Major. I told the VA doctor about my painful hangnail and turf toe. He probably already knew. They already knew. As soon as they saw you, you had some turf toe issues right away. You made your case, though. Old Jyrene just jumped in. Sounds like we're talking about getting scoped. I haven't taken that leap yet either. I haven't either. Old Jyrene. And I'm telling you, to be honest, I have my doubts whether I want to or not. Every time I go for a checkup, they're like, oh, you're due. In fact, the last time I just went, they gave me the kit to take home to bring back send in. Yeah, not positive yet. All right, Heavy J says, what's up, Heavy J? Sergeant Major, is it possible to get busted down from gold to green? Interesting question. So I'm going to ask Gunny East to jump in because I don't know about today, but yes, it absolutely was possible. And I think I told the story. We had our company Gunny was a former lieutenant, and how he converted from officer to enlisted. However, the part I didn't share, just because it was just a brief, you could go from officer to enlisted. There was an issue that he didn't care to share all of it with us, but we make our own assessment of it. Before he was forced from officer to enlisted, he volunteered. So he resigned his commission and went enlisted. I don't even remember. He didn't go right to gunnery sergeant, but by the time we got him, he was a gunnery sergeant, prior lieutenant. So I want to believe still, it probably still is. It probably doesn't happen a whole lot, but I bet it is. Look who's here, Annie Benani. Howdy, howdy, and gig 'em. We're going to talk about you here shortly, and what an awesome, awesome week the production team, the SFMF family had. Well done, and congrats to you to your Raider team. Did I miss it? Split Spinks, what Raider team?
So they won state.
One state in the Raider team. That's ROTC, JROTC Raider team? Let's hear it. And where did you compete? Where was the competition at? Jimbo says, I had 4, no big deal. You don't remember everything. Prep is the worst part. I've heard that too, Jimbo, that the prep prior to drinking that stuff before you got to go is the worst part. Still haven't committed yet. Oh, gee, if you want to know about getting busted down, ask Lake Cookie and Richie Moore. Moore, I forgot about Moore. I told a story about Moore. I couldn't think of his name at the moment. He was another character. And I'll never forget our run up Engineer Hill behind old Bravo Company. We were running up the hill. Engineer Hill is a beast. If you could run all the way, you're a beast. So we were running, walking, running, and the battalion staff was running down, trotting in a little crew, and the battalion commander had his entourage with them, and they were kissing his butt as they were running down, and more obviously scoots over to the side to run right down the center of them, so they had to spread out to go around him, and he said, "What's up, devil dogs?" and just kept running. Now, how do you get mad at him? What do you say to him? The colonel did say something to the sergeant major. Then he had something to say, but with no disrespect, he gave a verbal greeting because he didn't say sir, sir, ma'am, sir. Devil dogs. That's it. They're all devil dogs. Classic. More. All right. McJunkin, I'm telling you, that turf toe is no joke. OG, in 64, saved my buddy's life. I'm just thick-headed. That's it. What's up, Menachem? Producer, family, good to see you. How's Grandpa? Update us. And let us know how you're doing through all that, because that's not easy for family members as well. There's Tooney. Please go get checked. I lost a friend 4 months ago, stage 4 cancer, most organs infected. Please get checked. You live not only for yourself, and you're right, Tooney, I'm telling you, and that's how it had been explained to me a few times. We lost a buddy, and this was in Hawaii. In Hawaii, he had colon cancer, beat it, fought it for a couple of years, beat it, went back to work, excuse me, but it came back, and it did eventually end up losing him. So I hear you. Heavy J says, saw a short about terminal lance. Have you heard of this term? Terminal lance. Not only have we heard of the term, I think I did a short on it. I did do a short on it, terminal lance, what that means. And that the writer of terminal lance was a lance corporal in 33. Did I leave or did he get fapped out or something? We were there at the same time. So I he was there right before me. Huh? With Sergeant Major Baldwin. So I never knew him, but he came from 33, started that cartoon, and now it's pretty successful. I think he's got some books and everything. Pretty funny stuff. But the term terminal lance is someone who did his full term as a lance corporal. So you got to wonder, what did he or she do wrong? You should be either up for promotion or already promoted at your 4-year mark, is the idea. So if you're a terminal lance, you spent all your 4 years, you got promoted 2 times to PFC and then to Lance Corporal, and you're getting out of Lance Corporal, which happens much more frequent than you can imagine because they can't promote everybody. Needs of the Corps. The term terminal, though, it gets used for staff NCOs and officers also. If you have I won't pick on any specific rank, but the terminal staff sergeant, that individual did 20 years and is retiring as staff sergeant, which happens for various reasons. Usually, however, there's something in the record book that he or she doesn't share. They also use that word terminal for duty stations. And I heard this growing up as a sergeant major. They said, oh, you don't want this duty station, that'll be your terminal duty station. So like they send you out to pasture. I used to hear it about I&I duty as a first sergeant. That's why I tried in all my power to stay away from I&I as a first sergeant, because that's your terminal duty station. But then I see it work just the other way. I think it wasn't Big O I&I duty, got promoted to sergeant major. So it gets used a lot, but terminal lance is the biggest one. All right. His art is bad. Yeah, the art, Vargas, the art on the terminal lance is pretty good. He's good. Oh no, Carrie Ann Marie Potts, her uncle passed away yesterday from prostate cancer. May he rest in power. Prayers to if his spouse is still around and the whole family, Carrie Ann Marie. So sorry to hear that. Man, and that's why that part obviously scares me as well, but man, sorry to hear, Carrie Ann Marie. Hope you're doing okay. Jimmy White nailed it right there. Terminal lance equals shipbird. That is a very, very common phrase. And if you don't know what that kind of bird is, it's a terminal lance. If someone does his whole career as a lance corporal, but there's more to it than that. But it's easy to label somebody. You see a Marine that's overweight, low regulation haircut, wrinkled camis, that's a shipbird. And what happens is when new Marines come to a unit, those are the most aggressive birds, right? Because they want more birds in their flock. So if you have a Marine that's checking in, he wants to be motivated, and he's of the era all the way around, but he gets in with those birds right away, he's going to become one too. That's why the first duty station is so critical. Not the first duty station, the first Marines that the new Marines meet. So you got to pick your friends wisely. But it does. That is an easy way. Terminal lance is, yep, you didn't do something right. Let me see if I can read that one. Go down. Nope. All right. Only after 3 months, Kevin Lee, I got NJP'd only 3 months after I got promoted to corporal and just got stuck there. So you got NJP'd 3 months after promotion to corporal. So you didn't get busted down. You stayed at corporal. That happens too. Menachem said his friend made E5 in 4 years. That happens too. Like an E5 with over a 10. Vargas got out as an E3. So there's exceptions to all these rules. I've said it many times. I was a sergeant for 5.5 years. 5.5 years as a sergeant. You look at a sergeant now, like, that guy's a shitbird. Why'd you been a sergeant for so long? It was the needs of the Corps. I didn't get passed over. I got promoted with my peers. That just was the time. After that, leading up to that, it took forever to get promoted. But after that, E6, E7, all the way up, those are like 2.5 years. So I was barely getting comfortable as a gunnery sergeant before I got promoted again. The needs of the Corps. So young Marines and those you getting ready to be a Marine, you have to be ready, administratively ready at all times to be promoted, meaning that the highest PFT, CFT, McMap, rifle, pistol, education, community service, off-duty education, everything has to be the top of your game because you never know how those numbers are going to fluctuate. And if they say, oh, or even meritorious promotions. Oh, hey, Sergeant Major, I instead of 1 meritorious corporal, you can promote 4. Give me your best 4. You can't tell me, hey, get ready for this meritorious promotion. You got to be ready for that at all times. So whatever your PFT score is, as soon as you take it, as soon as it's entered in your book, start working to make it even better, right? 100% across the board, all the way up. And I met another Marine who is a former Aggie, a ring knocker, and he was a pilot. Great family. I'll talk more about that family in a minute because just amazing the type of people they are. But in our conversation, he's like, you know what I never heard? My 20 years in, did 20 years in, retired. Great job now. He said, anytime I challenged my Marines to do something, there was never that one that said, what's the minimum score? What's the minimum I have to do? And granted, there are some. There's those shitbirds at 10%. Oh, really? We're doing pull-ups today? How many do I have to do? There's always one or two. But a majority say, what's the max? And that's completely a mindset that you have to not only what is the max, what's the record? Right? I've mentioned that before. I used to tell the cadets, you used to tell the young Marines, anytime you're challenged with something, you want to know what the maximum score is because you're going to beat it. I did ask that in boot camp. That leg is right there by my foot. In boot camp, I was doing, 23 pull-ups. I was a stud. And to even make myself even look better, I asked the drill instructor, sir, what's the pull-up record? He said, 123 or some crazy number. No, it's fine. I'll just remember to not kick it. All right. Randy Hart is here. What's up, Randy? Third herd, Echo 2-1, best birds in the world. Some embrace that term, right? Some really try to be that shit bird. I remember getting to Okinawa the first time. The first joke I ever heard was, what kind of birds don't fly? Shit birds. Can I swear on this channel like that? Doc Holiday, what's up, Doc? Man, again, I was reading your message as we were walking up the door to the door to try to set this all up. Appreciate you, brother, always. The rank isn't given. It's carved from long nights, busted knuckles, and a standard that's never lowered. Some of the conversations we were having with Annie Benani this weekend, too, and I know she's here, there's no rest for the weary, which I've never used that phrase before. I've heard it before. You cannot. I use Emmitt Smith. I'm not a Cowboys fan at all, but I am a hardworking individual fan. And that was a video, Eric Thomas. I don't even know how true the story is, but one of the Super Bowls that the Cowboys won, the very next morning, Emmitt Smith was working out in the gym. And they were interviewing him because he just won the Super Bowl. They're like, Emmitt, you just won the Super Bowl, whatever number it was. What are you going to do now? He's doing benching, probably 315. Boom, doing. He was like, I'm doing it. They're like, what are you doing? How are you going to celebrate? What are you going to do? You just won the Super Bowl. Congratulations. What are you going to do? He said, I'm doing it. I'm getting ready for the next one. That's how he celebrated the victory. I hope that's a true story. But it's definitely a mindset. You're not done, right? Growing up, Kimi Cocoa Puffs. She's at work right now. She'll be here shortly. But when she used to score, she scored tons of goals in soccer. A stud. High school, club teams. She played with the men's leagues in Okinawa. What's that? Intramural sport. I mean, she's a stud. And we used to always tell her, after you score, act like you've been there before. Right? Those guys that freak out and cheer and celebrate, but a quick one. Boom, a little fist bump, let's get after it. Because the game ain't over. Right? In soccer, coincidentally, usually the opponent gets scored on right after they score. Because their head's not in the game. They scored, they're celebrating, they're taking shirts off, they're sliding around the field, they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff, play restarts, boom, they get scored on. So score, act like you've been there before, a little humble, and then get right back at it. That's the mindset, again, from Emmitt Smith. Crazy. Doc, thanks for the motivation and support. I mean, you You motivate us 100%. Thanks, brother. Old Irene said, I tried to change the meaning of shitbird. I knew my job. Be damned if my performance ever endangered the mission, but I certainly questioned orders. Old Irene and Lay Cookie would get along great. I can't say this enough. Lay Cookie was the hardest Marine I've ever worked with in my life, still to this day. And he didn't have problems taking orders. He just had problems taking dumb orders or from dumb leaders, dumb leadership. Excuse me. And he would tell them, right? And sometimes they just don't like that too much. They frown on that as a private in the PFC. And fortunately and unfortunately, Lay Cookie was always right, but it was the approach on it, tact, if you will. And he's promised us he's matured over the years and he's a little more tactful. You know how to play the game when you need to. But that happens, old Irene. I'm telling you, man, I'll be damned right there. Be damned if my performance ever endangered the mission, but I certainly questioned orders. Poor leaders don't like when you question their orders. Don't start me on my last job. 4 years. I questioned those dumb orders. And instead of fixing things, the easiest way for those poor leaders is to, we're not going to listen to you. Not a good fit. Go somewhere else where you can. Your motivation is wanted. There it wasn't. They're complacent. They're set, selfish, did their own thing. Still to this day, and not looking good. All right. 2015, we hit the 30-minute mark. Still Lima Charlie audio visual. Thanks, Heavy J. I'm telling you, we busted in here and just kind of threw everything together. We didn't want to miss the opportunity, especially because we missed Sunday. Menachem seriously feeling it sounded a little froggy. So the clearing my throat and the coughing and my eyes are probably, it's been rough. It's been rough. So we left on a Thursday, drove for 20-something hours and just hot and heavy, hit it nonstop. We went to an Aggies football game and all the people, everyone is great. The whole College Station, everyone's howdy and gig 'em, and everyone's in a good mood. People hold the door for you. It's just a different vibe and environment in Texas in general. But being on campus in College Station, everyone is motivated. And that's how it was. We went to the evening before. They all gather. A couple thousand students go to the stadium the night before. Thousands of students, right? And learning over the week, there's about 77,000 students in A&M. 77,000. Their stadium, they had to build a new one. Their stadium holds 108,000. And they max it out. And it's not free for students, right? It's not free for them. They have to pay for it. 108,000 seats. Amazing. I'll tell you later how I kind of snuck into the gym, the football gym, and kind of went around some of the offices there. Just that alone. So, and then the merch store, there's multiple of them, but the one we went to a couple of times is a warehouse. And I've been a 49er fan kind of my whole life, and I watched the NFL growing up. My whole family did. I remember merch stores, like in the mall, there'd be a little store, and now you can buy it online. This merch store at College Station had, again, thousands and thousands, everything from yard stuff and furniture and pop-ups, every shirt and hoodie and hat you can imagine, lanyards, animal stuff, sweaters for dogs, and kitchenware, just everything. And the store was packed. Granted, it was a home game weekend, so I'm sure it was more packed than normal, but 100% packed. And that stuff's not cheap. And I'm just in and out. We went twice, in and out all day long. People were just buying the merch up. The stadium alone and the amount of people that go, again, 108,000. Most NFL fields are between 65, probably 100,000. I think probably Dallas probably has one of the biggest ones. I don't know. Everyone's rebuilding their stadiums now, and maybe they're making them bigger. But this was sold out. The nosebleeds all the way up was just amazing. They don't open the gates until an hour and a half before game time. So an hour and a half before game time, I think all 108,000 of them are outside the stadium. Kyle Field, famous Kyle Field, filled up, just ready to go in. It's like a concert, every home game. And the tailgates are all around the parking lots across the freeway. They're tailgating to get ready to pour into the stadium. And they have chants and cheers. They have over 100 years, 135, 165. How long has it been around? Forever. A&M started out as an all-boys school back in 1863 or something. Now, of course, it's mixed. There's 77,000 students there, and it's just such a vibe. We've been to quite a few NFL games, mostly Chargers, Niners in Florida. I even went to a game in Florida, the Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, in box seats, the best seats you can imagine. Doesn't even compare to being at A&M where we were. Keith, if you're on here, Scotty, appreciate those seats. We're in the north end zone, kind of little to the side of the goalpost. Amazing seats, man, and everyone around you's fans. And even Florida had sprinkled a couple fans here and there, but there's no fighting, arguing, and trash talking. It was trash talking, but it was all friendly. It was all howdy, and helps that the Aggies are 5-0 right now. Now they got 3 away games, so it's going to be interesting. And I wonder how many people travel. A&M has some money. Those alumni and former students, I think they do follow. It's been like 10 years since they started out 5-0, so this so far so good. Been a great season for these guys. But just amazing, the whole atmosphere. I'm telling you, we didn't want to leave.
Junkin has a question.
Let's hear McJunkin. Poolie Beltran. Here we go from John McJunkin's crew. Passed my ASVAB and was good to go from MEPS. Then this week, I tore my left hamstring on a Poolee run. Now I'm told I need a medical waiver. What to do? Excuse me. Yes, you do. You're going to need a waiver because if you tore it on a Poolee run, everyone knows you have it. And if it's actually pulled, they're not going to let you go until you tore it. They're not going to let you go until you're 100% anyway. So physical therapy, get back in shape. I don't know, did you have a ship date or not? But you do absolutely have to, you're going to have to get it waived, right? And you're going to have to be 100% before you go. Man, that's tough. On a Poolee run too. OD, you were in College Station. Did you drive out to Tyler to see your buddy who retired 4th Marine Division Sergeant Major Dan Flegel? No, you know what? And there's a couple other people we want to see when we make that trip. Lake Cookie is one. Big O is another, because a little bit on the way. But I'm telling you, we were in and out. You guys know more than anyone how we've been. What's up, Jared? Good to see you. Jeff R. Random question. How does someone who drinks a lot start quitting? You're like my mentor. So you drink a lot to start quitting. I'm guessing alcohol. Beer, whiskey, whatever it is. That's a great question. Takes discipline. Right? You make excuses for what you want to do in life. A producer had told me one time from her wise father used to say that you make excuses for what you want to do. And a couple different ways to look at it. I remember throughout my Marine Corps career, every now and then, man, I'm drinking too much. I need to stop. So I tell my boys, no, nothing for me tonight. I'm quitting. You can't tell your boys that, because then that's when they're going to start passing. Oh, don't be a quitter, loser. Let's go. Just one. They're not going to help you. As much as they love you, they're not going to help you. So at one point throughout my career, when I was serious about quitting, and not like I drank that much, I needed to quit forever. I just needed to take a good break. I didn't tell anybody. And when we'd all go out, I'd hold a beer with them and, yeah, what's up? And kind of pretend, end up either dumping it out or leaving it out. I just wouldn't drink with them. And then once I was comfortable with it, about 30 days into it, and I had the confidence to tell them and hold my ground, I'd say, no, I'm not drinking. They're like, what? What are you doing? Call me all kinds of names. I said, no, I haven't. I'm on day 35, bro. I'm taking a break. I'm not drinking. Then they kind of respect that you're not just saying it, something you should do. You ain't messing with me now because I'm already committed. 30 days, they say, it's smoking, dip, whatever, to quit a good solid 30 days of none of it, get you over that little hump. So try that. Don't tell anybody that you're quitting, and do it for yourself, right? Find another habit. People have all kinds of, the rubber band on the wrist, pap. You strike yourself with the rubber band every time you want a cigarette, boom, just it reminds you, no, because that's pain. Equal it, make it remind you of pain. And then just discipline. Can even now we drink once or twice a month, if that, because we needed to quit. It's just not in our daily schedule anymore, and nor is there anything wrong with it. Love a good cold beer, right? Barbecuing or with the boys or something. But you have to self medication. I'll keep you in prayers. Right there from combat medic, recovering alcoholic, self medication. I'll keep you in my prayers. I tell you a story. My whole family smoked cigarettes. Mom and dad, brothers, sisters, everyone. My whole life I was surrounded by smoke, and I'm the youngest. Probably the reason I never did, because I always smelled like smoke. My hair, my clothes, it just stunk in the house. I never did. And for years and years, my parents still did, I think. Yeah, they all did. They continued throughout their whole lives. And my dad passed away from emphysema and smoking and drinking. Anyhow, and they tried to quit a couple of times. Once they did, my mom was like, that's it. I have to quit. They've been smoking since they're like 13. But back in the 50s, that was normal. 40s and 50s, that was normal. Everyone smoked. But they did their entire life. So she smoked for about 50 years straight every day. And she used to smoke Pall Mall, right? The unfiltered ones. And they got hypnotized at one time, and it worked for a little while. Then they tried these different programs. And one day she just said, I'm done. Never went back, never smoked again. She was smoke free for like 10 years before she eventually passed. But unfortunately, the cigarettes already did damage, right? So it was kind of too late. So you got to think about that, the future, right? How you want to live in the future. And what I used to tell, okay, that's what my parents, they both smoke, and I know I'm going to because they did. I'm around it. Not only the health risks and health factors of it, then you get people, 104-year-old lady still smoking, nothing happened to her. So everybody's body is different. But then think about it financially. How much did my parents waste on cigarettes over the course of 50 years? If they put all that in the bank, and now you know how much a pack of cigarettes is, probably $12, $14, depending on where you're from, a week or every 3 days, whatever it is. Imagine what you could do with all that money. That's what you used to tell the cadets. All them vapes, you vape to be cool with your friends and look good. Tell me one good thing that comes out of vaping. And there is none, obviously. You're sucking that poison into your system and wasting all the money. So what better way what's better than that? Or just tell me one good thing about them, right? I think the e-cigs and all that, they were probably designed to get people off nicotine, off cigarettes, but now you're just putting a different kind of poison in your body. All right, don't get me on that. Don't get me started on it. Jared, I quit drinking 12 years ago because I hate prison more than I love booze. Amen. That right. There's got to be a reason behind it. There's got to be some kind of what's in it for me, right? What get tired of waking up naked somewhere where you don't know where you are. Pretty good reason to stop drinking. Kevin Lee, I only know 2 Marines who didn't drink. Good for you. That's the other thing. Steve is here. What's up, Steve? Steven?
You need some water?
Nope. That's not going to stop my cough. Water. Thanks, though. Most Marines do drink, and even today, you equate drinking Marines with drinking, and there's mess nights and Marine Corps birthday ball celebrations, and always a reason to drink. Again, nothing against drinking. It's when you abuse it is when it becomes a problem. No, bad one. You got some water? Just kidding. No, I'm good. All right. Vaping and e-cigs are the worst thing. Steven, and I'm telling you, I'm trying to tell these young kids, they do it to be cool because their friends do it. All the different flavors. They like to, whatever, for whatever reason, be even a little bit cooler and have the cojones, have the intestinal fortitude to say, no, one, you look stupid doing it. It stinks and it's just poison you're putting into your body. Again, give me one positive thing about vaping, and then I'm thinking about it. Prove me wrong. There's not one positive thing about it. Kids today are marketers' dream, right? Just building up their pockets. We had a guy everyone thought was a blue falcon, says OD. Turns out he never got in trouble because he was the reasonable, responsible one of us who was raising a family instead of hell. Being sober is always better. And unfortunately, you do see a lot of it in the military. I'm thinking Marines more so than other branches, maybe. I don't know. Per capita, we're the smallest, and I think we have just as many problems as the Army. I've been smoking since '85, says Jared. But considering all the other vices in my life that almost got me locked up, that one ain't so bad. And again, there's people that do smoke their entire life and never have an issue. So everyone's body different. Everyone's body is different. You want to take that chance. Kevin, you learned early that many of us learned a long time ago. Must be the name. Sorry, do you like a cup of Coca-Cola? Heck no. It went down the wrong too, Scott. So those of you just joining us, I had a little 24-hour flu Sunday, and then I think it kind of cleared up. And this morning, driving back, going up and down the hills, and the way the producer was driving, like on a roller coaster, elevation got back to me, so it all hit me again. That's why on the way while I was trying to hold on for my life as she was driving, I was trying to make a post saying we weren't going to go live tonight.
Who shaved 15 minutes off of the ETA?
She shaved 15 minutes off of the ETA coming back, and she shaved 15 minutes off of my life that I was holding on for dear life. I was looking for a second seatbelt and an eject button. Randall Knapp, what's up, Randy? Drinking was, what did it say? I don't know how to zoom it down. What did Randy say?
Randy said drinking was basically mandatory when I was in. It was expected and respected.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Same, Randy. Again, you and I came in around the same time, and it was expected and accepted. 2 beers at lunch. Remember that was the thing. 2 beers at lunch in your uniform. Go to the bowling alley, get 2 32-ounce beers because it was just everyone did it. Here's how I knew I was in a drinking club. One of our first field ops was in Yuma, Arizona. We went out there. We built some mock-ups for the planes to come over and blow up. It was a great event. Our first time on base to do laundry and showers and stuff. All the Marines were giving money up. And I'm a PFC. Maybe my buddy's like, I don't know, what do we just give money? Gave it to the staff sergeant. Staff sergeant took off. We go to the laundromat on base, and then we saw a staff sergeant come back. A couple of the other squad leaders, they all go into the head. And as we're doing laundry, they'd call, hey, you, Cece, Jones, come here. We go into the head, and they had a big trash can full of ice and beer. And we just hang out with the staff sergeant, drink a couple beers, go out and finish our laundry. We just all rotated in and out, drinking beer while we're doing our laundry. That's our platoon sergeant. It was just normal. Shortly after that, we get back from a deployment. Our first sergeant is retiring. First sergeant is retiring. We get in a formation. He says a few words, and he calls his admin clerk out. Come here, you. Line them up. A couple of tables, a bunch of shot glasses, of plastic shot glasses, and he has 2 bottles of whiskey. He poured every single Marine in the company a shot of whiskey. We all grabbed them. We all cheers, First Sergeant. At noon on a Tuesday to celebrate the first sergeant leaving. No one has, do you drink? Would you like? Now you got to find out. You have different color cups, and, oh, yours is water. You don't drink. And you did none of that. Just everyone drank. Just like Randy said, it was not only accepted, it was expected. Where you're not going to toast to the first sergeant, you're not going to drink. Mess nights, everyone drinks. You drink the grog, it's full of alcohol. Excuse me. Today you have to have 2 grogs, alcoholic and a non-alcoholic. Smoking cigars at a mess night. Never liked to smoke a cigar. I wish I did, because those guys are so cool that all the colonels and sergeants major, they sit around at the end of a firefight. I would go and I would sit around and I'd pretend I can't smoke a cigar. Mess nights, I would light it and pretend like everyone else for history and traditions. But I'd certainly drink all the shots. It was just, Randy, you nailed it. It was expected. Every now and then, I remember one of my clerks as a first sergeant in 2-5. Rocha is his name. Good dude. Never smoked or drank or even had a relationship with the opposite sex his entire life as a young Marine. So, of course, once all the Marines found out, they're like, oh, we got to get, all they want to do is get Rocha drunk. We got to get him drunk. Why? Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Let him live his life. And I think our first deployment, they ruined that for him. But be pretty cool to be able to say that. Never smoked, never drank any of those vices. And then figure it out for yourself. All right. Jeff Ward, thank you so much for your advice. Y'all are amazing. Got work early. Good night. Good night, Jeff Ward. Thanks for hanging out, brother. And this is exactly what this channel is. Things like that. Ranger Motivator is here. I see you. What's up? Good to see you. We're just talking about what an amazing week we just had. We were in College Station. Another leadership piece that kind of brings it all, brought everything all together, is the camaraderie of, excuse me, what I've learned, and I'm sure all colleges have this to a degree. West Pointers, I know they're called ring knockers, because once you get that ring, you're part of the club. I think every college is like that. But these guys at A&M, no matter how, if they just graduated last year or if they graduated in the 60s, automatically they have something in common, right? They're Aggies, man. They're from way back. And they're willing to do anything for each other and help them out. If they're family members of an Aggie, they're willing to, your family. And as I was watching this happen and take place at the football game and all the stuff prior to it, their mascot, their dog, Reveille, passed away. They had a funeral and a ceremony and a procession for Ms. Rev. Right, and not only that, the gravesite for the Miss Revs, because dogs, are around for about 14, 15 years, if you're lucky. Not only do they have the gravesite right outside of Kyle Field, the stadium, they even have a little, excuse me, they have a scoreboard. So all the past miss revs can watch the game while it's happening live in the stadium. That's the kind of history and traditions and camaraderie for that dog. But that's the vibe of MMA. Just solid leadership.
MMA?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
A&M. Solid leadership from A&M, Texas A&M, from generation to generation. It just keeps getting passed down. Have there been some bad leaders in and out? I'm sure. I'm positive because poor leaders are out there. But the camaraderie of everyone else will bring that poor leader in or push that poor leader out because the Aggies are going to survive. And you see that in you go to HEB, 3/4 of the shoppers have on Aggie gear. And yes, do you go? Did you go? Did you? I ask these because I want to know because I'm just a family member now of an Aggie, and I feel like I'm welcomed in as an Aggie. That's the camaraderie that they have had for over 100 years. Just like the Marine Corps. I'm sure all the branches have it to a certain degree. And again, I can't speak for any other college. So prove me wrong if you're out there and you went somewhere else. And I'll tell you the same for the Marines. I think all the other branches have it, but the Marines are different. Marines are fanatical, yes, about being Marines. Because those same Aggies that were prior service, all of a sudden we're best friends because we have the Marine in us, not the Aggie, but that part didn't matter. This specific gentleman was telling his son, who is a current Aggie, that of all his relationships he's made all of his life, 20-year Marine, still a Marine, and 30 years ago, an Aggie, still an Aggie. Those conversations and those friendships never went away with either group. He's got the best of both worlds. So the camaraderie runs deep, and it was evident. All good stuff. What? I have to drink. Still getting over. I think I got the black lung pop. Oh, bad news, people. Bad news. I just got a note from the producer. Doc already passed it to me. We had a little conversation about it. Can I show the card? Update. MCRD Boot Camp Challenge canceled. Government shutdown. They canceled it. They didn't postpone it yet. They didn't change the date. That's shut down for whatever reason.
What is it? Butt camp.
It does. The MCRD butt camp. It's canceled. Some of you may be happy about that. I'm not. I've been training for it. I was ready. Gimme Cocoa Puffs was ready. Excuse me. All right. Ranger Motivated.
Nope.
John McJunkin. Det Poolee Sarasua asks, my recruiter informed me that MEPS says that I have a twisted hernia, that I'll need surgery, and that I may not get in. Even after surgery, need help. Excuse me. First and foremost, get a second opinion. Make sure it is a twisted hernia, which it very well possibly can. And I only know that because I had a hernia. And I was a drill instructor when I got it. And instead of getting it fixed, because they say you got to go to surgery, you're going to be out for a month and you're not going to be able to train recruits, I was like, nope. So I would just push it back in. I was known as that drill instructor, or as JTB. I would hold that baby in while I was yelling because I didn't want any. And she told me, she said, you're going to yell one day and it's going to pop and it's going to be horrendous. So I just made sure I held it in. Years later, I did have surgery and had it fixed, and everything's fine. So one, get a second opinion, and if it actually is a twisted hernia, you do have to get it fixed, because if it bursts, it's going to be much, much worse. The may not get in part, even after surgery, I don't know. If you're not 100%, that's something you need to talk with your surgeon about. There's a couple different procedures, I know that, where they go in to fix it and what they use to fix it. Mesh, skin from somewhere else. They even they can use pig skin. There's different ways to fix it. So don't do anything until you get solid answers and in writing from everyone, but you definitely do have to get it fixed. And the Marine Corps is not going to take you. They won't. If something may go wrong, they're not going to take on that responsibility. And it's easy as simple the way to think about it. They're not going to take you if you have braces on, because they're not going to take on a medical expense or time, something that they're going to have to continue to work on. They don't want you unless you're 100%. Which brings us to our retirees. And when you get out, they wouldn't take you until you're 100%. So you shouldn't go out until you're 100%. That's the importance of keeping track of all your medical records. Because if you leave and you're not 100%, they should do everything in their power, provide you with every opportunity to get as close as 100% as possible. Your disability, and that's where that comes in. All right. Cookie Monster, happy Wednesday. Love your channel. Support what you do. Thank you, Cookie Monster. Again, that's why we're here. Those of you just joining us again, we started late, but we were on the fly. Came busting in the door. Just wanted to make it happen. Update you on this week's events. Absolutely, just a lot of information that I always see in a different light, and it's always based around leadership. Right, 100%. Things that the Corps of Cadets does in the barracks or doesn't do in the barracks, all leadership. The camaraderie of the school, all leadership. I started to tell a story about I had to make a head call. We were kind of waiting around. We were last minute stuff before we dropped Annie Benani back off. Found a door that wasn't closed all the way in the football team's gym. And this is college. This is college football, state-of-the-art equipment. I mean, of course, you're the best machines possible, but they even had a rack of deadlift shoes, which each size, each style. So you go in there with just whatever you need. You go in there in street clothes, and everything's provided for you to get a quick or a good workout in. And of course, the locker room is state of the art. The meeting rooms, there's linebacker film room, and that door happened to be open. Every desk had a playbook. The big screen was on, showing that game, because this was after their Florida game. It was just constantly playing, and all the quarterbacks, recruiters, scouts, everyone had their own little. And throughout the halls was old, and I don't know that A&M team enough, but Johnny Manziel is the only one I know because I just watched that recently. But their stats are on the wall, and their accomplishments and statues and rings and championships all throughout this facility, like NFL level stuff, but better. Because it's a college, and these guys are hungry, and they're not spoiled. They're not paid too much like the NFL is. They're just at a different level, trying to get to that level. So they're still hungry. And there's football players all throughout this place. Just I would go in one room, linemen, playbooks, watching. One guy studying, one guy writing some notes down. And this was. What day was that? Was yesterday. So it was a holiday. It was Tuesday. So yeah, it was yesterday. Wow. Man, that was yesterday. It was yesterday, Tuesday, they're on a 96. They had Monday and Tuesday off because of the holiday. That's how they're spending their time. Back to Emmitt Smith. What did he do after the Super Bowl? How did he celebrate? By working out, getting ready for the next one. So you can't drop your pack. You can't take a day off. You know how I feel about days off. They're going to rest day. Where is that muscle? Because I want to work that rest day muscle. It's a mindset. You rest when it's all over, when you've reached the top. Emmitt Smith wasn't done. This is just one Super Bowl. And then another one. Because he spent his offseason. All men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason. That's a quote that he said. All men are created equal. Some work harder. Where's USMC Cece? Did I get that right? All men are created equal. Some work harder in the off season, maybe. All right. Who we missing here today? Ray? Where's Ray from Queens? Been in some comments. I'm telling you, I hadn't been on my phone all week because I was the chauffeur. I was driving Miss Daisy around. And we did. We went all over Bryan, Texas. I'm learning the area. There's other campuses, and Texas College Station is amazing, right? When Chick-fil-A has Howdy and Gig'em, right? When there's a barn 20, 50 miles, 30 miles from A&M that has Gig'em and Howdy on the side. I'm telling you, just the whole community is great. So I didn't get to see, but I saw a couple quotes from Ray. Ray from Queens, David Bryant. What are we missing? Salty, where you at? Big O. Hot Rod was here earlier. Where's Hot Rod? He even talked about him this weekend about Hot Rod's number one advice. Be loud and move fast. That's how it is for the Corps cadets. You do that, half the battle's already won. Be loud and move fast. I'm sure that's how it is on the football field. Be loud and move fast. All right. USMC vet, yeah, we haven't seen for a while. Carl Green. Where are y'all? I know we started late. I don't know how notifications work for some of y'all. JTB, Michael's Drones. Lay Cookie, you better get on Lay Cookie. We're talking about you. Look at Matthew Ashkrens is here. Corps cadets are an impressive bunch. I tell you, we had our doubts, Matthew, about the Corps cadets. Annie Benani did an overnighter there at A&M a few months and way back. And it wasn't the best experience. I got to be honest. And, you know, everything's leadership. Happened to be raining when we dropped her off, so they changed the schedule around. Okay. But again, the school's been around there for over 100 years, 160 years, something like that. What's the backup plan? You don't have one yet? Something's wrong. So kind of a bad vibe to start out. She got kind of left. She was one of females. She joined the PT group because she wanted to be challenged. Most females don't or didn't. She was the only one. So now they got this, they have a female and an all-male crew. They really didn't know where to put her, and they just didn't have a good plan, a good solid plan for this overnighter that they do 3 times a year for who knows for how many years they've been doing it. So not a great feeling, but still gave them the benefit of the doubt because of their history. And then fast forward to she's now, the first week was pretty rough. I didn't want to be that dad. And what are they doing this for? And what are they doing that for? And why don't you? So we're just letting it play out. It's a culture shock for most of these kids, including Annie Benani, as much of a beast as she is. Excuse me. It's a different lifestyle. Some of the Corps cadets, and some of you, I didn't know. Some are also, they're in the Corps cadets and they're also ROTC. Not only are they Corps cadets, ROTC, some are Navy, Marine, and Air Force contract ROTC. They're Army contractors as well. You can contract, you can get the option of those as well. And then some Corps of Cadets, no obligation to the military whatsoever. So an odd bunch, if you ask me. The band is all Corps of Cadets. They're kind of, they're pretty sure they do their own thing, but they're Corps cadets that wear uniform. I'm telling you, it's quite an impressive organization with a lot of moving parts. I was worried about, I had questions about the adult leadership, the AMOI and the MOI. What are the other guys called? Yeah. So all just being a dad, being a worried dad, but they got it. It's solid team. All right. Who just popped up that I want to see? So, Major, what from old Jyrene, what type of workout do you do that doesn't tax the joints? As a 50-something who's been in the gym my whole life, the joints and tendons don't like it, and I think I got to go down my weight and up in rep. So that's it. Old Jyrene, you nailed it. Less weight, more reps. And it just has happened to me over the course of time. I was always that big guy trying to get bigger. So high weight, low reps. I used to go and I go down from, and I go 8, 6, 4, sometimes 2 reps. If I was doing 8, then I told myself there wasn't enough weight on there. So I packed some more weight on. That in our younger years. Now it's lower weight, but high reps. Now I'm going 10, 12, 14, even sometimes 16 reps because same thing. My tendons and joints aren't in agreement with the heavy weight. So now it's just maintenance, right? Just maintain. You want to work out in your 50s, old Jerry, go bow hunting with me. That'll wear you out. Hunting in general, I'm sure bow hunting, and I've shot a compound bow here and there, but I'm positive that's a workout. Just hunting on the trail. Those things now are workouts, going for a walk, right? The pool by far, the pool or the ocean, just swimming is much easier on the joints altogether if you have that opportunity. But now it's just maintenance. You gotta just those days of how much you bench, bro. Those days are long. That's for the young kids, right? And remember, growing up, people always tell you, bend from the knees. Don't bend it. You're gonna hurt your back. You're gonna hurt your back. When you're young, you feel like you're indestructible, unbreakable. But now, man, I wish I would listen to those guys. And stretching. Oh, Jyrene, I never took the time to stretch. I didn't have time for that. Who's got time to stretch? I do now. Stretch. All right. Asking, I think I've told you before, but I have known a former MOI and AMOI from A&M. They've made me a believer. I'm telling you, another duty I really wanted to do, just timing wise, it didn't work out. But a Marine officer instructor and the assistant Marine officer instructor, right? That's what it stands for. That's active duty officer and enlisted that go to college and work. It's a duty station. You work as the instructor for the midshipmen, the cadets, whatever it happened to be called at whatever college you're going to, ROTC. Great duty. And I'm telling you, I've always heard about A&M, and you kind of huge believer now. Here's from Randy Knapp. Question for any Marine here. What was the most brutal PT session you remember from your time in the Corps? Great question. PT, most of the time, it's brutal. It is designed from the bottom up. Your fire team PT session should be the most brutal. Your fire team leader should. Then the squad leader takes you out and still a little era, right? Everyone's got to prove themselves to you that they're tough and they can wear you out. Platoon sergeant should be able to thrash the platoon. Company guns, first sergeant should thrash company commander. Now he wants to show you how he is Captain America and he's going to destroy you. Battalion should be the battalion runs, the division runs, whatever. Those should be fun and loud and motivation. But you do all that work and small unit leadership. So when you get to that run, it is motivation and it is easy. But we've all had that one PT session that kicks your butt. And one I'll never forget was actually in the Staff NCO Academy, where they broke it off. I was a student. They broke it off. They broke us up into 3 groups: the rabbits, the whatever, devil pups, and devil dogs. I went in the fastest group just out of pure ego. Didn't belong in there at all. But they broke it off to where I fell back into the second group, and it felt like I failed. I quit. I gave up, and of course I did. And this is San Mateo up in the, not San Mateo, it's Flores, Las Flores, sand, hills. It was horrible. Stayed where I belonged.
Answer WW 2717.
WWW 27. It just popped up. Can you read it, please?
The guard wants me to come to fill an AGR slot after retiring from the guard.
The guard wants him to come fill an AG guard spot after he retires.
He's already retired.
You're already retired. You want my opinion? Go. Absolutely. So you're retired and they want you to come fill a spot with the guard. This is the one for one of the places the president's sending the guard. 100%. I'm still waiting for somebody to call me. Can I go with you? Because I would. That's it's pretty amazing. A couple of different reasons. You must have been shit hot if they're calling you, and I don't know what's happening. Maybe they're calling quite a few, but 100%. My opinion, absolutely, go. It's interesting. Are we short on guard members? Or again, they want your expertise. Again, you clearly must have done well. Good on you. Let us know and share with us what you can share, because the only thing. Active Guard Reserve. Okay, AGR, Active Guard Reserve. But you're retired, and they want you to come back. Is what I'm getting. Old Gyrene, most brutal PT. My heavy had me alone in the squad bay forever. I don't know if he had mercy or realized I wouldn't quit. I believe that's the day I became a Marine. Had a couple of those with certain individuals. I couldn't break this one cadet, recruit. One, he tricked me into pretending he was done and couldn't do anymore. Did the old eyes roll back in his head, and crap, I thought I may have ended his life, and called the other drone instructors and was pouring water on him. I'm like, man, my career's over. I can't believe I just crushed this guy. And a senior from another company comes over and says, hey, get up, talking to the recruit, and he popped right up. I was like, this sucker got me. But that day on, I tried to break him, couldn't. He was a beast. All right. Yes, 42 years total. Wow. 18 active duty Army. 18 years active duty Army, 42 years in total. So what are you thinking? How you feel about it? And what's making you question it? The duty, or just physically, or being away from family? That's interesting. I didn't know they would do that. Calling you back. That's pretty amazing. What do you think you're going to do? Random, we had a Force Recon Staff Sergeant who was our platoon sergeant at language school. He had an hour-long calisthenics sessions, pyramids, etc., and then a run of attrition up and down a large hill. Run of attrition. That means you just run until he drops everybody. Eli Cash, were you on the drill field? Yes, sir. WW says, I make more money at my regular job. That's on you, brother, and please let us know what you decide. You make more money, so you have to take time away, and of course they're going to hold your spot, right? The Soldiers Sailors Act, they can't fire you, but you'd be gone for how long and then come back. That's interesting. Like, know what you're going to do. Eli, what years was I there? I was in San Diego, 90. 92, 94? 94, 96. I always get that mixed up. 94, 96. No, 92, 94, 96. Because I was in DI school class something 93, 3-94. Oh, it's all coming back to me. How about that from memory? She's shaking her head. You know I'm right. All right, to what? What would you like me to transition to?
Time's up.
Wrapping it up. Wow, was it that fast already? I know we didn't do the full 2 hours. But again, we just wanted to update you on the week, what we have been doing for the past 6 days. And it's been on the road. It's been hot, heavy, chaotic, and pretty amazing. Leadership lesson in all of it. And again, that camaraderie, I'm going to bring that up again. Have a few ideas for shorts and videos to speak specifically to camaraderie and the beauty of it. And the amazing things that you can get out of it, lifelong relationships, right? And last, merch, real quick, I'm going to ask you this. Maybe we'll put out a poll or something. We're doing a birthday t-shirt. I know everybody and their brother's doing one. We want to do one as well. If you could put in the comments some ideas you have for a birthday shirt, because it's coming up real soon. Today's Wednesday. We'll see you Sunday. See you back on Sunday on time. We'll have pre-flight with the members. Pre-flighting with the members. Don't forget, if you're not a member, sign up as a member. We pre-flight before every live stream, and it gets pretty interesting at times. But we'll definitely see you then. Have a great rest of your week. Spend some time with Jesus on Sunday, and stay safe. Be aggressive, but stay safe. Semper Fi, my friends. Era.